Last week, I asked you True Blazer fans if you were happy with the season so far. And oh boy, how 1 week can change things so fast. What's going on, True Blazer fans? It's Tori and I'm back with another Monday mailbag. There's no poll for this week. The poll I posted in the past week was for the Otto Porter Jr. video, which will be dropping later tonight. I just wanted to get this mailbag out first. I hope you enjoy both of these videos. Follow me on Twitter at ToryJonesYT and follow the channel as a whole on Twitter at TrueBlazerFan. And with that being said, let's jump straight into this video. Blair Bartholomew asks, have you heard anything about who the next owner of the Portland Trail Blazers will be and whether we are going to stay in Portland? I don't want to see us go anywhere. I haven't heard anything about a new owner or a sale or the logistics of that entire situation. I don't think we're gonna move. I don't think that's a question that we have to worry about. We have a great fan base. We've been in Portland for almost, 50 years? And the league has also made it harder since the Sonics left. I don't think they want another situation like that, and I don't think they want another Pacific Northwest team to relocate somewhere else. So I don't think that that's going to be something that you have to worry about. Zenis Cottage, I hope I said that right. What do you think of Nurk so far? And would Mirotic or Vucevic be good pickups for our team? I think Nurk has been great. I think Nurk has honestly been our second best player. When you look at his per 36 stats and compare him to McCollum, he's better on a per minute basis, and his defense is by far better than CJ McCollum's. So I'd honestly say Nurkic has been our second best player. Losing him last night hurt us down the stretch. Whenever you lose a guy giving you 15 and 10, and that being in only like 25 minutes a game, and that being more efficient than it's ever been in his career, I think he's really improved this season. I think he's finally taken that next step. I think he's back to kind of the Nurk fever type of big man that we had at the end of the season that we got him. He just isn't passing as much as he was during that stretch. Zach Mack asks, you think Simons and Gary Trent Jr. should start playing a little more in the top of the fourth quarter to see their strengths and weaknesses? I don't think they should be playing at all, honestly. I mean, if we have to end up playing one of them because of injuries, then yeah, it's kind of cool to see them see the court, cool to see what they can do, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we're fully healthy and we're trying to win. We're trying to make the playoffs. We're trying to make at least a second round. The top priority is not to develop rookies. They'll get enough development just with practice and maybe some G League minutes down the road. Godfrey9 asks, is Evan Turner still a detriment to the team, or has he turned things around this season? At the start of the season, he was playing a lot better and he was a very valuable piece, but as our offense has regressed away from the ball movement that we saw in the first 2 weeks of the season, as our offense has regressed into a more ISO heavy offense, and as Evan Turner for some reason has started to shoot more threes again, he's gotten a lot worse. He's kind of regressed back to how he was playing for us last season. He shouldn't be shooting threes. I think last night in the second half he went 0 for 4 from 3. I have no confidence in his outside shot. Too often he ends up isolating, and then that results in a weird twisting fadeaway mid-range jump shot. I think he's a good mid-range shooter when open, and it's nice when he's able to get to the rim. I think layups and open mid-range shots are the only shots that he should be shooting, though. I think he needs to remain committed to being the primary facilitator in that bench unit, because that's what he was doing the first couple weeks of the season, his first 10 games or so, and that's why he was much better than he has been lately. The Brennanator asks, would you rather trade for a defensive shooting guard like Drew Holiday or trade for a 3-and-D small forward like Otto Porter Jr.? Now, we have CJ as a shooting guard, so if we were gonna bring in somebody like Drew Holiday, would that mean CJ's out? I don't really understand the full context of the question. I would rather trade for a small forward because that's where the biggest hole is, and that's where we could upgrade. It's also a more realistic option with Otto Porter and potentially Kelly Oubre being available from the Washington Wizards. While I think Drew Holiday is a little better player, I think Otto Porter Jr. is very underrated, and I would love to see him in a Blazer uniform. That's a teaser for the upcoming video on Otto Porter Jr. That's somebody that I definitely want to go out and get. Nikos Kodakris says, Harkless, Myers Leonard, Anthony Simons for Otto Porter Jr. and Thomas Bryant. Probably need a first round pick in there. Hopefully we wouldn't have to trade Anthony Simons. My hope is Harkless, Myers, and a first round pick for Otto Porter Jr. straight up. We'll talk about that more in the Otto Porter Jr. video. Well, Timmy asks if Otto Porter Jr. is a good defender for his position. I will answer that in that video tonight. Chris Jesus says, Layman most improved player? Bit of a joke since it's only week 5, but what are your thoughts on Jake Layman's progression? He's shot so few shots that I feel like his hot shooting and his good shooting numbers could be an aberration due to small sample size. I want to see what he can do over a full season with a steady roll and a steady diet of shots before I say, oh, he's a lot better than he was last year. Granted, he is better than last year, he has a lot more confidence, but you have to wonder how much of that has to do with just maturity and how much that has to do with being more confident in himself and the work he's put in. A lot of basketball is mental, so I think he's improved a lot in terms of the mental game. And I think that's helping him shoot better. I think that's helping him play better. But in terms of skill, I'm not quite sure how much he's actually improved. DC vs. Marvel asks, what do you think about Anthony being in the rotation lately and getting non-garbage time minutes? He's still not NBA ready, but he's been playing pretty well. Well, when players get hurt, you have to have somebody step up into the rotation. And when Seth Curry got hurt and you didn't have Mo Harkless, Anthony Simons was the logical choice to get some of those Seth Curry minutes. I don't think that means that he's going to have a chance to see rotation minutes if the team's healthy, but it was pretty cool to see him be able to play. He had some very nice drives and finishes when he was playing recently. However, his shot just looks off. Some of his shots he's missing bad. And for an NBA player, missing bad is hard off the front of the rim. It's not like how it is for me and you. But this was a guy that was known as a good shooter coming into the draft. And I figured that'd be the one skill that translates to the NBA. And so far during the preseason, during the few minutes he's seen this season, his shooting looks off. I think once he gets a little bit of time to adjust to the NBA three-point line and NBA pace, he'll start knocking down more of those mid-range jumpers and those threes. Matthew C. asks, would you consider trading CJ, Mo Harkless, and a first-round pick or whatever it takes for a top 2 pick in the draft to take somebody like Zion or RJ Barrett? If we flamed out in the postseason again, and then we got to the offseason and this was actually an option, I think you'd have to take it. Considering we'd be trading out $35 million, we'd have to get more back than a pick. But I don't think this is going to be a viable option because I don't think a team at the top of the draft is going to value CJ McCollum enough to give up a chance on a franchise player like Cam Reddish, Zion Williamson, or RJ Barrett. CJ McCollum isn't a franchise player. Mo Harkless isn't a franchise player. Our first round pick has a very small chance of acquiring a franchise player. So I don't see a team that's rebuilding, a team that's not good and has been losing, would want to make that trade at all. I think the only way we'd be able to trade into the top 3 in the draft is if we gave up Damian Lillard, which is something that I'll never ever consider. Jamie Petrosino asks, do you think Carmelo Anthony would be a good fit for the team? I do not. He's not a good enough shooter to rectify all his other problems, and he might not be a good enough shooter in general. His shooting has really cratered the past couple of years. It's a guy who doesn't defend. Some Blazer fans who want him want to make the argument that, oh, he's a decent team defender, and he can be coached on that end. He was never a good defender, even in his prime. If you look at his advanced stats on the defensive end, they weren't good, even when he was young and had energy, which he doesn't have now. So why is he all of a sudden going to come to Portland and be a decent defender? He doesn't pass the ball. I'm pretty sure per 100 possessions he's getting less than 1 assist, and for somebody who has the ball in his hands a decent amount of time, that's absolutely awful. He also doesn't really move off the ball. He doesn't cut well, so we need more ball movement in our offense, and we need more productive off-ball player movement in our offense. Carmelo Anthony would not bring either of those. So I just don't see how he'd help this team with the way he's been playing the past couple of seasons. Anyway, that's all I got for today's Monday mailbag. If you want your question asked in next week's mailbag, make sure to leave it down in the comments section below. And I hope you guys enjoy your week ahead. My week is going to be dictated on the Blazers hopefully stopping the skid that they're on. So video's done. I'm out of here. Peace out, true Blazer fans. Go Blazers.